Hi.
I'm Lewis. This
And
is
I'm Ariel.
And welcome to Lunch Break with the Wang Gang, who is thoroughly confused at this point on who is who. At least I am, because we've been with each other in the same
I'm not
room.
confused. I'm sure our bodies have been swapped.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I feel a little bit more okay with our circumstances, now that I understand it a little better. Cool.
I have a funny joke, but it's not appropriate, so let's move on.
Why do you always do that? You say I have this great thing, but I can't do it, so we're
I'll
gonna
tell
move
you
on.
later. I just don't want it on the internet.
That's true. Once on the internet, it never comes off.
Yeah.
Well, I have a really quick announcement for next Monday. So I usually do a Sub Rosa Sound radio show on Monday, but I won't be there because I'm actually going to go on my friend Dynamite. Matt. His name is Matt. He's called Dynamat, I think. That's his anyway.
It's like Dynamite, but
Dynamat.
Get it?
And he does a Monday 8 to 10 p.m. show on KXSF, which is the SF community radio station, 102.5. And he invited me to socially distanced go into studio and talk some music and maybe play even a few live tracks. So
that sounds like a blast.
Actually, I'm very excited to be on the
Actually.
other side of the radio, not the playing side, but the other playing side. That is terrible. I should not do accents.
That
But
was great.
if you're interested in radio and like listening to the radio, I recommend listening to KXSF on Monday at 8 because I will be there. And Matt is a great storyteller. That is primarily what he does. And it's awesome. By the way, he also dresses up in all sorts of characters and gives and does toy drives for kids and then delivers them in costume.
Whoa.
It's a good cause.
Yeah. Hey, it sounds good.
So, in any case, let's play a song. So, this is Life of Trees, real name pending. Myself and the menagerie of my own mind, walls of gilded sun and mirrors of compactor. Drink my fill alone in the dark. Beast and bound by the laws of those before me, king of my little cage, swallowed by guess, suffocate in my room. of these chains. That is, Ariel went to Jazztown for a second and then ran away.
Yeah. And Lewis didn't run away. He just got hit by the truck.
Yeah, I've been kind of, spending some time exploring more jazz chords and stuff. Speaking of jazz, so the poll overwhelmingly was in favor of the movie Soul. It was like 94% or 96% was yes, Soul was good.
Do we know how many people voted?
No. I know how many people voted on Facebook, but I don't know how to find that information on Instagram. But I would say, because I can see the numbers crawling up as, as the day goes. And it started out as 100% actually for a while, and then it slowly dropped down to, I think it was like 92% like Soul, and then it jumped back up to like 96. But so yeah, most people like Soul. And something really interesting that I listened to in a podcast, or not podcast, sorry, YouTube video last night was a African-American film editor was talking about Soul, and one of the things he really liked about Soul was that there was homage paid to African-American culture, especially around barbershops and jazz and things like that. But he said what he really liked was that while they were paying homage to African-American culture, it was really a story just about a person. And it's refreshing to have all the other details right, but not stick someone into a stereotype. And he was saying, like, sure, the, Black experience in America and is important, and, it's good to talk about racial justice and things like that. But he says that's also not really what Black people are only about. They're just humans, and to see them being portrayed as just humans is awesome. Which brings me to how much I hate Mulan so far.
We started watching Mulan.
The new one, 2020, and it sucks.
Why does it suck, Ariel?
Let me tell you why.
I think I know why it sucks, but I think my reasons are different than yours.
Okay. So it was put out as this, like, we're going to try to be more accurate, to Chinese culture, and it's not. In so many ways, including to the original ballad of Mulan, which I grew up with, so I know it extremely well. And she was one of my childhood heroes. And they one of the best parts about it is, like, of the ballad to me, is that it's an ordinary person, a woman who does this incredible act of bravery, and then beats the odds, comes back as a war hero, and she brings back, all of her friends, and it is until she gets back that it's revealed that she's a woman. So that's the skeleton of the original story. And the fact that this starts out with her basically having, like, superpowers is just totally anti. To me, one of the biggest points of the whole ballad was, like, an ordinary person
So we do have the same beef.
can become. Well, here's what I was talking about. So granted, we've only seen like the first 25 minutes of the movie, and
Yeah.
I was just like, no, I'm done. Let's finish it sometime later. But I was telling you about, like, if they're gonna do this whole fantasy superpower, the witch, whatever, like thing, it's like they need to just totally lean into it and make it like a superhero movie, and
Like
just
magical, like have magic all over the place.
yeah, like you shouldn't be technically Chinese and then make it into like a fucking stupid superhero movie that's half-assed.
With supervillains that run up walls.
Actually, that's a pretty big part of Chinese.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Really, to me, hilarious, like Chinese kung fu movies. So one of my favorites I started watching again is this thing called 还珠格格 or the Princess Pearl or whatever the stupid English translation is.
Don't know it.
It's like very much the Chinese, like especially period drama where in the kung fu, people run up walls. It's ridiculous, but it's
or like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
right. But it's like it's just play to be like everyone gets that it's just kind of silly and that it's over the top.
Well, maybe that's what they're going for Mulan's ninja skills that she just has at the beginning of the movie.
Except that they take themselves so fucking seriously, and nobody who does all the crazy kung fu shit like takes it that like it's like I feel like as a Chinese person watching it and talking to other Chinese people, it's just part of the hilarious like gimmicky part of it is like people watch it and they're like, "Ha, that's funny. They run up walls," you know. But it's like in Mulan, they take that shit so seriously. Like she's got this superpower where she runs up walls and ooh, and I'm like so over.
So wait,
That's dumb.
so
Anyway,
the Mulan
okay.
the ballad is how old?
I'm not sure, but I was watching another a video last night that was about the cartoon.
Yeah.
Disney and the woman in there said that it was probably between 1,000 to 1,700 years old, which I know it's really really old. Like it's like considered like an ancient folk tale that's been passed down forever.
At the end of that movie, it says based on a story by Daniel Sanssouci, who is the drummer in my very first band's uncle.
What?
Yeah. And Noel Sanssouci, shout out. Yeah, we were in a band together called I think we were called Bad Year, and then we changed the name to Body Farm.
Wait, of the 2020?
No, of the old
old
Mulan
one.
cartoon, and at the end of it said, because basically Daniel Sanssouci and his brother, my friend's dad, Robert Sanssouci, were like a team. Although I don't know if Robert drew that, but Robert is the illustrator, and Daniel's the writer, and so they illustrated a lot of books. And, they made a lot of books together, like children's books, right? And so I think they leaned heavily on the Daniel Sanssouci version.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing about what I've come to realize about the cartoon version is like, I mean, you can argue authenticity. It's got a lot of issues, but I think one of the points I've heard is like Disney wasn't really trying, and it's such a good story and it deviates far enough. Like Disney didn't come out and say we're going to try to make a culturally accurate version of the story. They were just like, we're going to Disney-fy it up. And I think that's what at the end of the day makes it more acceptable is like they're not under some sort of pretense.
Yeah, you like the songs.
I like the song. I love the songs. I know the songs.
Do you like the ancestors and all that?
Yeah, I mean that is a part. There's some inaccuracies, but
where are my ancestors at in this new one?
Well, I think they talk about them briefly. They talk about
no, but I want to see them like deliberating and shit.
Okay, so I think that's if you're gonna lean into making people magical, why not bring the ancestors? If you're gonna have a magical phoenix flying, and sorry, full disclosure, there are gonna be some spoilers. Sorry, guys. If you're gonna make a magical phoenix, again, lean into the magic part of it.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, maybe they do.
Anyway, we'll talk more about Mulan wants to actually sing the whole thing.
Okay.
But anyway, I just had to let that all out because I'm so
Yeah.
upset.
Stay tuned for a
Bye.
Mulan update.
Yeah, after we actually finish the movie, maybe one day. But let's play music and play music for the people. Thank you for listening
goody.
to my rant. So we are going to do a another Beck song. This is.
Excuse me.
It's rainy today, so we're
It's
all
time for lunch.
that too. It's like we're on a lunch break, but not eating lunch.
The sacrifices we make for you.
Yeah, everyone likes a bow pointed right in their camera face.
Yeah, it's like it was 3D. Well, only if you were wearing your 3D glasses. They
That'd
can't
be
hear me anymore. I have to shout.
all right. This is The Wolf is on the Hill. The wolf is on the hill. The bird is in the briar. The thorn is on the rose. And your time is on the wire. Those days of grave concern turn themselves to silence. Nice cello solo.
Thank you. You know, I was trying to redeem myself from that last song where I got hit by the jazz truck. So I went for it.
You're definitely not the first. I don't think I've ever gotten out from under the jazz truck. I'm just perpetually squashed.
You're just getting, yeah. You're underneath at the wheels. I'm stuck to the grill. Like this.
Exactly. You know, so ooh, that's out of tune. So Lewis's nephew Otis, his favorite thing to do with us on the Switch is to play Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, we're borrowing Ariel's brother's Nintendo Switch. Thanks, David.
Thanks, David. Shout out, brother
Yeah,
Wang.
we played Super Smash Brothers twice, I think, with Otis.
Yeah, but you know, the second time he like came over and was like, "All right, we're gonna play," and he was so excited.
Well, because I told him that's what we were gonna do.
Well, okay, so the point of bringing this up, his favorite part is when the characters go flying, but instead they fly towards the screen and then squash themselves.
Yeah,
and his laugh is so adorable. He just like this.
He's like gonna get made fun of in school.
It's the best laugh.
He's great though. Yeah, I mean,
and every time it happens, he just like dies of laughter. Anyway, it's adorable.
Yeah. It's that great age where he hasn't been made fun of enough yet, and so he's just still his genuine self.
Oh, yeah. Kids kind of what's his I was watching a comedian, his name is slipping my mind right now, and he was talking about how cruel kids were.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
I should share that link on because it's hilarious.
Sure.
So on to more serious things. You had well, our poll last week was about Seoul. Yeah. Our poll this week is about which a federal jobs guarantee or universal basic income. And Lewis brought this up yesterday. And so what were the points that you had brought up in brief?
Well, basically, I've been following the UBI or guaranteed income movement for, over a year now, and I'm in support of that idea, and I know that Bernie Sanders was more for a federal jobs guarantee, and I think that this is just going to be one of the big debates of how we function as a society. And basically, federal jobs guarantee is there's a job waiting for you if you want it, like for anybody, right? And a guaranteed income is more amount. And there's pros and cons to both of them.
Yeah. So who is the one that you
the Funky Academic?
Yeah.
I started listening to this guy, the Funky Academic. I think he's just really interesting. Philosopher and
at what university? He's a professor.
University of Georgia. He's like a doctoral candidate, but he teaches there. And he's also getting his doctorate.
Yeah.
Right. And I've been watching a lot of the Hills show Rising. It's like my news show these days, and he's a guest sometimes, and he just really interesting, really interesting guy. And so, but he talks a lot about. He's a black guy too, and he talks a lot about justice and freedom, and how for a lot of black people, like those things are further away. And also one thing I really like about him, he says freedom is a word that the left needs to use a lot more.
I just saw that on the internet today too. Somebody else said that.
Sure, and so I thought. The Yang Gang or the UBI Club kind of says that the federal jobs guarantee is not as free as a guaranteed income because you get maybe it's a job that anyone can do, right? And so it's not going to be like suited to your strengths. It's just going to be like So they view it as like a form of like indentured servitude, right? Whereas if you're just getting a federal or a guaranteed income, then you can spend your money however you want, and it gives you more freedom that way. But Funky Academic is very much concerned with freedom, and if he supports a federal jobs guarantee, well, then I would just be very interested to see what is it, what does he think gives you more freedom? What's better for freedom?
Yeah. If any of you out there know any expert, because we talked about this, and at the end of the conversation, I was like, I really know like nothing comparatively about either. Like, I'm no expert, right? I don't know what the results are of all the pilot programs for UBI. Like, there's one in Stockton, and there's been a couple throughout the country, and I don't know what the results of those are. And then the federal jobs guarantee, I don't really know what that is either. So I have a lot of like speculative like what ifs thoughts about either of those, but I think I would love to hear two like experts debate about it who have a lot of information behind and behind their belt, under their belt, and that they can cite studies or maybe talk about what studies might need to be done to know which is better and whether it's worth it to conduct them before trying to implement any sort of big like policy or anything. Because one of the things you were talking about was that UBI in some ways really only works the way it's supposed to if it's done at the federal level. So pilot programs can only give so much information. So, that's just, we would love to hear from you guys. You can, if you don't feel comfortable, I know the internet is kind of a shit show. So if you don't feel comfortable commenting, because you're trying to avoid any sort of internet fights, which I totally understand, feel free to email me at arielwangmusic@gmail.com and give me your opinions there, because that's I am really curious, and especially if you have like referrals and references and things like that, I love to hear what people think.
And the
but
poll goes up.
Subscribe and comment anyway if you're
on Tuesday.
Yeah, the poll goes up on Tuesday.
It's on Ariel's story.
Yeah, and the polls are.
I should start
on
sharing
Instagram.
your stories. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can.
Can I
you can
copy
do that.
your story and make it my story?
Yeah, you can do that.
Cool.
But I might need you to tell me what the votes are, because I don't know if the votes will go on mine or on yours.
Oh.
But
we'll tally them.
We'll tally them. But yeah, but the thing about the voting too is it is anonymous. Like, if anyone sees who votes, it would be me, and I will never tell who votes for. I don't even tell people who voted for
it's
against
not gonna,
Seoul.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
like, I'm not gonna share that, but I am curious, and I would love to see your vote. And if you have further comments, email me or comment below as well if you feel comfortable with that.
I think this is going to be a central debate amongst the left. And I think, and hopefully
and
more
on the
than
right,
that.
hopefully as well, because I think that if these are policies that people like, I don't think anyone should just dismiss any sort of policy straight out of hand just based on who's bringing it up. I do think that they should be debated, and some things might seem pretty obviously wrong at the beginning, and so it'd be pretty quick to say, okay, here's the reasons why this policy is not good. But I think that people on either side should take into consideration the policies other people put forth.
I think
even
this
if
is
you
beyond a liberal issue. This is, I mean, it's going to be the future of work, right? Is one of the central debates of the 21st century. I really believe that, and I think that these two ideas are, and they can exist side by side. Let's not leave that out. But I just think like there are two different camps of people that are advocating for one of these ideas, UBI or federal jobs guarantee.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're
really rocking today.
Yeah, we're almost on time. Well, let's play our last song. And it's been I've certainly been having a really hard time in the last couple of weeks between all of the stuff happening in the world, on the political front and also the health front. So the song is for all of you. Carry on. You know, things will hopefully get better. And yeah, let's keep, you know, talking to each other about what we want for the future, with the hope that we'll be able to actually do those things, and all is not lost. I get lonesome sometime in a city full of people, walking out by myself, and everyone else is looking down. Be my witness. Hold my hand, don't let me go. You know I can do this alone. I'm afraid I'm hiding. To wake up is more than I could bear. Carry on. Every sun will set. Every sun will set. Carry on. Every sun will set. Thanks, everyone. We'll see
Thanks.
you next Friday and every Friday, except when we're not at noon on lunch break.
We only missed 1 week.
That is true. We're here 71 weeks of the year.
How many?
51 weeks.
How many? 71.
My years have more weeks than you do.
How many of these have we done? Do you know?
This is episode 23.
It's almost
Alright.
half a year, you guys.
Whoa, guys. All right.
Oh, you can't hear me. That's a lot.
We'll see you next Friday at noon.